A vegetable tart is one of my favorite meatless mains, and what better way to showcase a nutritional powerhouse, spinach. This spinach tart with an olive oil cracker crust is a healthy update on Spanakopita, and it's made in 3 easy steps. So first I'm gonna make the crust. Measure 3/4 cup all-purpose flour. To that, add 3/4 cup whole wheat flour, 1 teaspoon coarse salt, and my favorite part of this dish, sesame seeds, 2 tablespoons. This is gonna add a really nice nutty crunchiness. Whisk this together, and we're gonna add the liquid. This is a 1/3 cup olive oil. That's what's gonna make it so nice and crunchy. And a 1/3 cup water. Whisk all these ingredients together with a fork until it starts to form a rough ball. The nice thing about this crust is that you can kind of get tough with it. If you weren't baking it in a tart shell, you could also roll this out and make it into crackers. And this is just coming together and just knead it a few times. The olive oil in this recipe makes this a really tender, easy to work with dough. Now we're gonna roll. Pat your ball. This will just help keep the shape. And then roll it out to about 12 inches. That's what we're shooting for. So I started with raw sesame seeds. I didn't toast them because they're gonna bake with the crust. And while they're baking, they're gonna become nice and toasty and nutty. So it looks like I'm pretty close. My dough is, I'd say, about 1/8 of an inch thick. Perfect. So now to transfer your dough from the countertop, roll it back on the pin. Really nice, easy trick. And now I'm gonna fit it into a tart pan. Then you just wanna fit the crust all the way down to the bottom. And if you have any excess on here, you can either leave it for a more rustic look, or you can very easily trim it using a paring knife. Last step before we bake, we're gonna dock it with the fork. Make perforations evenly all over the bottom. And what this does is let the air escape so that the bottom of the crust doesn't buckle too much. Crust is all ready to bake. I have my oven preheated to 425. It's gonna bake for about 35 minutes until it's golden brown and extra crispy. Oh, this smells amazing already. Nice and golden and crispy. While this is cooling, I'm gonna work on my filling. So to make the filling, first we're gonna steam spinach. This is 1.5 pounds of spinach leaves. So heat a large pot to medium and add your spinach. And believe it or not, this is all gonna go in one batch. It'll get covered and it'll steam and cook so nicely. Just add about 1/4 cup of water or so, and that's gonna help generate enough steam. It's been about 6 minutes. My spinach is just wilted, still bright green. So I'm gonna transfer it to a colander so that it can drain and cool slightly. Now I'm gonna cook the aromatics. So I'm back on medium heat. Add a tablespoon of olive oil and 1 chopped shallot. 1 clove of garlic, also chopped. To this, I'm also gonna add 1/4 teaspoon of red pepper flakes. This is gonna add a nice kick. A little bit of salt, just to help the vegetables soften. You can really smell the onions. They're nice and caramelized and crisp. The aromatics are nicely sauteed. Transfer them to a bowl for our filling. So I have all of my ingredients for the filling. We're just gonna chop this pretty coarsely for the tart filling. We are chopped. We have the aromatics that we sauteed on the stovetop. Now I'm gonna add my spinach. I'm gonna add 2 eggs, lightly whisked. So the eggs are gonna give the tart some structure, and that will help it set up and become firm once it bakes. 1/2 teaspoon of coarse salt. Then I have 2 ounces of crumbled feta. And this is the nod to Spanakopita. And the feta here adds a nice creaminess, really nice brightness, and we're not using a tremendous amount. It's more of an accent. Also, I find the brininess of the feta is a really nice contrast to the earthiness and the sweetness of the spinach. So once this is all folded together, transfer it to the cooled olive oil sesame crust. And then spread the filling to the sides of the crust. For the finishing touch, we're gonna sprinkle 1/2 teaspoon of sesame seeds on the top. And this is gonna mirror the flavors in the crust, plus it looks really nice. So I've reduced my oven temperature to 350 degrees. We're gonna bake this until it's just set, about 30 minutes. My tart has cooled down, and now it's time to slice. And this tart is so beautiful. Really, the only thing you need is a knife and a board. It's its own centerpiece. So I'm gonna season it with just a little bit more red pepper flakes because I like things a little spicy and it adds a nice color. And then slice away. Spinach tart with olive oil cracker crust. Beautiful, easy, and healthy.